Hello and welcome back to the Tech Desk. I'm your host, Noah Pavlich. I know it's been over a month since I last uploaded, but it's not like I've had anything better to do. Yeah, let's just say that. Obviously, I've been gone for over a month, so a lot of stuff has happened. Um, I might do a catch-up episode. I don't know. I'm still kind of working on it. But for right now, let's just talk about what's happening in the news. DSCC Ross leaked a bunch of information on the Galaxy Fold 2, and it is said that the Fold 2 will use a similar display as the Z Flip, which is a really thin glass display that feels more like glass and less like plastic. It will boast a 7.59-inch 2213 by 1689 pixel display. It will run at a 120 Hz refresh rate. It was supposed to have an under-camera display, but Samsung has not developed that tech in time for this phone, so it will most likely have a hole punch cut out for the camera. It will also have and be compatible with the S Pen, but talking about that and the display brings me to the bad part about the original Fold and the good part about the new one. One of the main things I didn't like about the original Fold was that the front exterior display was pretty small. It was only 4.6 inches. The new Fold is supposed to have a 6.2-inch screen with 2267 by 819 pixels, and it will run at 60 Hz. It is rumored that the front screen will also have a hole punch display, which brings me to a really interesting question. Where are they planning on putting the camera? Because one of the things I liked about the original Fold was that, yeah, it had a smaller screen in front, which was not great, but the cameras were also in front. So, for example, if you want to take a selfie, you just close it up, and then your cameras are all up here, and then you have the screen down here, so you can actually see it and get the main cameras taking the selfie, which is something that's, been lacking, because generally the cameras on front where the screen is are worse than the camera on back. But again, that brings me to another concern I have with the new Fold, is that will the battery be good enough? Because if you're running a 6.23-inch screen and a 7.59-inch screen, especially the 7.59-inch screen at 120 Hz will eat up the battery really quickly. I know that, you're not going to be having these two screens on at once, but still, the fact you have to power both of them will definitely drain battery. In other news, Google may be launching a debit card soon. Is it stupid? Yes. Will I get it? Most likely. Depends on the price. If it's under $50, probably. If I do get it, I'll probably do a review, but don't expect it because, let's be honest, it's probably going to be expensive and probably pretty dumb. Because, what's the point of buying a fancy card where you can just install Google Pay or Apple Pay and not even have to get the card out of your wallet? I know some of you will say, oh, but it's convenient because, you don't have to check your bank account to see if you have enough money because it's just right there on the app. But here's the thing, just install a password manager, set that up, and get biometrics working on it, and it's super simple. It's not hard, it's pretty easy. Also, I don't know if I fully trust either Apple or Google to offer the same support in helping fix a problem as a bank. Because if there's a bank and there's a problem, you just go to the bank and say, hey, there's a problem, and they'll fix it. Whereas with Apple and Google, you have to file a customer support claim or whatever they call it. And then, you have to wait for them to respond. And then they can actually start fixing it. Or it might take longer because they say, oh, you don't have enough stuff in it, and you have to explain more about the problem. Then they might be able to fix it, and it can just take a lot longer. Speaking of lack of trust, Facebook. Facebook launched a gaming app to rival Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer. And what's kind of funny is that when I was writing the script, obviously I had to do some research, and I found an article by Business Insider that has a graph that shows Facebook already has more viewers than Mixer, which I think is kind of funny. I mean, it shouldn't surprise anyone because the only meaningful thing Mixer has done is pay top streamers more money than Twitch to essentially be on their platform. Like, what's when you think of Mixer, the only thing you think of is, oh, Mixer takes streamers. Who's the next streamer they're gonna take? You don't think of, oh yeah, blank person is now on Mixer and I watch their content. No, it's just they take streamers from Twitch. And yeah. But honestly, Facebook Gaming is an extension of the Facebook Gaming tab, and I really can't see it going anywhere past that, At the start of this episode, I talked about the Galaxy Fold 2, which will most likely be one of the most expensive phones when it releases, and it will most likely cost a little under $2,000. But if you don't want to pay that much money, you might be looking at the iPhone SE 2. Just kidding. The iPhone SE 2 is trash. Let's be real. The only reason it's going to actually sell units is because it's running iOS. But if you want a better budget phone, you get the Pixel 3a, Samsung A51, or just wait a couple weeks for the Pixel 4a series to launch. All of these phones will either be at a similar price or cheaper. They'll all have a larger screen. The Pixel 3a and the Samsung A51 both have headphone jacks, and the Pixel 4a will most likely also have a headphone jack. All of them have a larger battery. But if you despise Android and love Apple, then prepare to be disappointed, because the iPhone SE 2 has a 4.7-inch display. But, if you like smaller phones, this might be your thing. It has a rumored 1,960 milliamp hour battery. The problem is, Apple has not released what the battery size is, and for good reason, because if that's true, that is small, especially running the A13 Bionic chip, which is the newest chip Apple has released. That is the only saving grace about this phone. It is running a recent chipset. If you want to know more about the iPhone SE 2, I'm hoping to put out a video on it sometime soon, fingers crossed. But, who knows? I might not publish it for like a month. Well, that's the tech news. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded more frequently, but I haven't had the equipment I need to record. I'm hoping that I can get back to a somewhat regular upload schedule, but obviously with, everything happening, I'm not sure. Yeah, so look for a new video in like a week or so.